On November 18th, 1999, the first episode of Cartoon Network's childhood classic, The Powerpuff Girls, aired, bringing us the fearless trio who fought villains with a mix of sugar, spice, and everything nice.
Ingredient of the concoction, chemical egg.
While we all loved the action-packed adventures growing up, let's be real, not every episode was a hit. Some episodes left us scratching our heads wondering, what just happened? Today we're diving deep into the episodes that didn't just miss the mark, but may have even tarnished the Powerpuff legacy for some fans. Now, don't get me wrong, the Powerpuff Girls delivered plenty of iconic moments, but these particular episodes, let's just say someone may have mixed in a little too much chemical X on the script. So buckle up because we're about to revisit the bizarre, the awkward, and the downright cringy moments that made us question the sanity of Townsville. With over 79 episodes in total, here are the top 3 episodes with the lowest rating, with one even being banned by the channel, so we won't be covering that one here. I might have them covered in an earlier video, but for now, let's start with number 1. Episode 1. First up, we've got Twisted Sister, or as I like to call it, when the Powerpuff Girls accidentally made a DIY Frankenstein.
What the fuck is that?
The episode opens in Townsville on a sunny Sunday afternoon when citizens are relaxing their butts off, enjoying a peaceful beach day, and everyone is taking it easy and mesmerized by their beautiful lives.
Everyone except for the Powerpuff Girls.
They're busy battling a giant squid monster. Just when you'd think that's enough for one day, they then fight the Gangrene Gang, stop bank robberies, and save every citizen who seems to be in peril. Despite all their heroics all day, the crime fighting keeps on piling up, and even in the end, they still have a huge bucket list of crime fighting remaining. By the time they return home, they are utterly wiped out, face planting onto the floor. The professor, ever the buzzkill, welcomes them.
Big day out saving the world. Fix the roof, eat your dinner, clean your plate, sweep the floors.
As the professor's nagging fades, the girls realize that they are fed up with the nonsense of the extreme workload and they need relaxation like everyone else too. Where Bubbles suggests,
Answer the hotline and save the world.
clearly what's missing here is a 4th Powerpuff Girl to split the workload. So, like any responsible kid, they sneak into the professor's lab because that's totally safe, and they decide to whip up a new sister following the professor's How I Did It manual. But instead of the proper ingredients, they throw in a mess of random stuff, artificial sweetener instead of sugar, dirt and twigs instead of spices. Next, they need everything nice. They put anything that they think is nice, individually, that is. Oh, and of course, Buttercup throws in a knuckle sandwich. No recipe is complete without that. Finally, it's time for the secret sauce, Chemical X. Except they need to make it look like an accident, so they play along by pretending.
Whoops! I accidentally dropped the chemical X.
As they reach into the bubbling mixture, the concoction explodes, as it always does in the opening, and out pops their new creation. But let's just say that she's not quite the picture-perfect Powerpuff Girl. She's huge, clumsy, and not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed. It's like the girls accidentally ordered Frankenstein's monster from Wish, not to mention the teeth.
Hi, we're the Powerpuff Girls.
The girls introduce themselves as her sisters. Blossom asks for her name.
That's a little hard to pronounce.
Well, that purple monstrosity is only going to give you that, honey. Buttercup suggests calling her Braces because of her funky teeth, but Bubbles, in all her sweetness, names her Bunny. The name sticks, but Bunny, not so much. As they're jumping around like bunnies in pure joy, her massive strength and size shakes the entire room with every bunny hop.
Okay, stop! Good.
The girls then try to talk to Bunny, but it seems like she is all bonkers and can't even listen properly, or like she has ADHD.
Are you listening?
The girls, still optimistic, tell Bunny that her job is to fly around Townsville, look for bad guys, and give them a good smackdown. Sounds simple, right?
Now go fight crime!
Bunny takes off, but her brain is about as stable as her body as she is trying to recall what the girls told her about crime fighting.
It's your job to fly around and keep Townsville safe from crime.
She soon hears an alarm go off with the weirdest ear you'll ever see. She rushes to the crime scene where the police are pointing their guns at the robbers. But since she has the brain of a chili dog, she assumes the policemen are the bad guys because of the guns, supposedly. Producing the happiest criminals ever, she then throws the policemen in jail, letting the real bad guys run free. Well, that didn't go to plan. Meanwhile, the girls are lounging at home watching TV and enjoying their time, thinking everything is peachy.
What's this? No crime today, girls?
We've got it all under control.
Well, not so much. A news broadcast pops up for their nightmare.
It seems one of the Powerpuff Girls has gone muy loco and imprisoning the police.
Well, there goes their dignity. Townsville is now crawling with criminals left and right. They need to find her fast before she becomes the giant ape. The girls seek her out in town, and as she is smacking the heck out of a police officer, they tell her she has to stop. Bunny thinks she's doing a great job, though.
Not too good. Not too good.
But the girls tell her that all Bunny did was worse than a T-Rex on the loose. Very bad. The girls tell her she is not cut out to be a Powerpuff Girl. In response to this, Bunny is heartbroken, and she starts crying like the crybaby she is to fly off in tears. The girls barely have time to think maybe they were too hard on her when they're suddenly surrounded by massive hordes of criminals. Outnumbered and overpowered, they get beat down from every villain in Townsville.
Oh no! The girls are getting pummeled by every villain in Townsville!
Just as things look grim, Bunny, still crying her heart out on a distant ledge like she broke up with Andrew Tate, hears the girls' cries for help. Without hesitation, she rushes back and absolutely wrecks the criminals, giving a good beatdown to all the criminals like a real Powerpuff Girl. Well, more like a Monster Puff Girl. Yes, you did, you ape. But just when she gets back her dignity, she starts to wobble like a jellyfish. White light rays burst out from her like a Pokemon evolution. And soon, a huge flash of light emerges from her. As the light dims, the Powerpuff Girls lying there like mashed potatoes manage to recover from being attacked by every criminal in Townsville. And all thanks to Bunny for saving them. They wonder where she is.
But where is she? She exploded.
The girls become rife with surprise and grief. Blossom surmises that Bunny was unstable and the explosion broke her down into her original ingredients, while Bubbles mentions in her eulogy that Bunny was good after all, especially on this one occasion, and that they were the ones who were bad. And with that, they hang their heads in sadness as they mourn the loss of their sister in the street. The narrator, who's usually upbeat, can barely hold back his tears. He closes the episode with,
So, for the first and final time, the day is saved thanks to Powerpuff Bunny!
and then in a meta moment, he breaks the fourth wall and tearfully tells the show to
Oh, go to a commercial!
Episode 2, and then we have Knock It Off. Honestly, this one should have been called What Were They Thinking? So there's this guy named Dick Hardley. Yeah, that's actually his name. He's an old college friend to the professor who's clearly never heard the phrase, with great power comes great responsibility.
Great power comes great responsibility.
Instead, he thinks, hey, let's make a bunch of Powerpuff Girl clones and sell them for cash. Because, you know, why not? The episode starts with Professor Utonium receiving a call from his old college friend Dick Hardley, who plans to visit. When the girls ask about him, the professor recalls their college days. Dick was more like a 90s playboy than a serious scientist, often distracted by girls and their mothers rather than his studies. Somehow, he managed to cheat not only on the girls, but also off of Professor Utonium's academic work, riding on his coattails to get through school. Getting all the fame out of Utonium's works, and not to mention our poor professor was only interested in the stars, while Dick used the telescope to peek at the beauties of nature. Dick soon arrives, claiming to be in the neighborhood, and enters Professor Utonium's home like he owns the place. He starts snooping around looking for the professor's lab, and even though Utonium mentions that the girls are cleaning it, when Dick finally catches a glimpse of the Powerpuff Girls, he is completely mesmerized by their abilities. It's clear that in that moment, his greedy brain sees a golden opportunity for profit, shifting his focus from the lab to the superpowered girls. Since Dick is talented and earning money, his eyes can see a cash cow as soon as he glances upon it. Turns out, he is now interested in the girls more than he was in the lab a few minutes ago.
What do you mean, your girls? You mean you made those things?
And that's a jackpot. Dick tries to convince the professor,
We could make a fortune with these things!
but the professor, offended by Dick's dehumanizing comments about the girls, becomes suspicious of his proposal and forcefully orders Dick to leave.
You just keep clear of me and my kids, pal.
Now, where's that angry professor when you need one? But this dick of a guy is persistent and wants to get his hands on the girls. Later that day, the girls are about to return home from school when Dick's car pulls up in the driveway and he offers them a ride home. At first, the girls think that he's one of those skirt chasers, but they soon remember his golden hair. Oh, it's Dick, the friend. While driving, Dick explains how evil is always occurring in the world. Afterwards, he mentions the possibility that multiple Powerpuff Girls who would fight crime in various locations outside of Townsville will make the world a better place.
There was only a way to make more of you girls. We could help save people all over the world.
Later, he asks the girls what they're made of. The girls quickly answer, sugar, spice, and everything nice.
And an accidental dose of chemical X.
Arriving at their household, he makes a sad-looking Dick face and asks the girls for a flask of Chemical X so that he can save more people. The girls are touched by Dick's act, and they zip to the professor's lab and back, giving him the flask. Now eager, Dick rushes into an abandoned evil factory, which he now technically owns, and uses all the ingredients, sugar, spice, and everything nice, and then adds the Chemical X. With the loud usual bang and a flash, there stands a Powerpuff. The next day, Dick shows off his creation to the mayor of New York City, since the crime rate in New York has increased tenfold. And yes, the blanket has 3 superhuman children that we can call
Powerpuff Girls with Chemical Extreme!
Although these girls are knockoffs of the original girls and hence may look wobbly or lessen brain cells like Bunny, sometime later the creations rush a giant alligator monster who may be the lost twin of Wally Gator to safety while on his way to work. This footage is publicly broadcast and the Utonium family is watching. The professor acts a little skeptical towards the real girls, thinking that they were in New York and asks them where they went.
When were you in New York?
I've never been to New York.
Shh! The girls lie to him, saying that they went there earlier. While in bed, the girls feel guilty about lying to him, but they believe it'll all turn out good since they believe Dick is a good guy. As the time passes, Dick's factory expanded. He was now producing more knockoff versions of the Powerpuff Girls and selling them worldwide, in places like Japan, France, India, Germany, and Egypt. Although these knockoffs looked just like the original girls at first, things soon took a darker turn. Dick began cutting corners, using cheaper ingredients and allowing the knockoffs to be of poor quality so that they would deteriorate quickly. This way, he could make more money by producing even more. He even created disfigured versions of the knockoffs, which he discarded. Meanwhile, Professor Utonium was growing more and more suspicious. The girls' trust in Dick quickly crumbled when they saw an infomercial of him promoting the Powerpuff Girls with Chemical Extreme. They also quickly discovered that Dick had been selling his knockoffs to anyone, including criminals, just to make a profit. Realizing that they had been deceived, the girls flew to his factory to confront him, and they ask, "Why are you doing this?" Instead of answering, Dick swallowed the Chemical X flask whole, transforming into a monstrous, radioactive version of himself. The girls tried to stop him, but they were no match for his new strength. Dick captured them in a glass dome and started extracting the Chemical X from their bodies to create more clones. Meanwhile, Professor Utonium, whose suspicions had led him to the factory, arrived just as Dick was draining the girls of their powers. Utonium begged Dick to stop, but Dick refused. Desperate, the professor offered himself in place of the girls so Dick could make more Chemical X. Dick, hungry for more power, decided to take both the girls and the professor. He ordered his rejected knockoffs to drag Utonium away. As Utonium was being taken, he tearfully expressed his deep fatherly love for the real girls. Hearing this, the rejected knockoffs, who've never been shown true love, turned against Dick. They clung to him and sacrificed themselves to engulf him in flames. A few surviving knockoffs freed the nearly lifeless Powerpuff Girls, urging the professor to escape with his daughters. Far from the burning factory, Utonium was heartbroken, believing he had lost his girls. But his love for them miraculously revived them, restoring their Chemical X. Overjoyed, the professor said old Dick might have gotten the formula right, but he forgot the most important ingredient, love. As they left the scene, Dick's final screams echoed from the burning factory. The narrator concluded, "Looks like the love you take is equal to the love you make." So, now you might have wondered why these were the lowest rated episodes in the series. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if there are any more creepy episodes in your mind. Also, mention if you want to see the banned episode as well.